Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to presenting my research plan. The research plan that I'm going to presenting today is student perception of online English learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. So in my research plan there are 5 parts in it, which are the research question and research purpose, previous studies relevant to my research, rationale for the research, and the last part is research methodology and method. Without further ado, let's get into the presentation. So, for the first part is the research question. There are 3 research questions in my research plan. The first question is, what are the students' perception of online learning English during the COVID-19 pandemic at National High School 111 Jakarta? The second question is, how do students score when learning English online compared to face-to-face? In here, is how do students score when learning English online compared to face-to-face? If the learning method change, will the percentage of grades that student get will also change? And if it change, will it change for the better or the same or even worse than the previous learning process? The third question is, where is the differences felt by the students between learning English online and face-to-face? What I mean is, do they feel a significant difference when learning online? For example, how they focus in class. Is it easier to understand the material or not? Or do they feel bored in learning process? The next part is research purpose. The first research purpose is, the purpose of this study was to determine students' perception of online English learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the next purpose is to find out whether students' grades have decreased or increased after learning English online. And the last purpose of this research is to find out whether the student prefer to study online or not. The final goals or purpose of this research is to find out which one the students are more dominant in choosing. Do you continue to study online, or do they still want to do face-to-face learning? The next part is previous study relevant to my research. The objective of the research study is, this study aims to identify students' perception of online learning of the English subjects during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the data collection method that the previous studies use is, they choose the researchers choose to schools for the data collection, namely SMAN 1 Samigaluh and SMK or Vocational School 8 Purworejo. For the findings of the previous studies is, students from both schools encounter problems during online learning, such as internet accessibility, the difficulty of understanding materials, lack of interaction with teachers, difficulty with school assignment, and limited and ineffective learning platforms. The next part is the rationales for the research. The rationale for my research says more emphasis on how this online learning process can affect the English grades of the students, whether they get better grades than when doing face-to-face or online learning. Unlike previous researchers who only look for the problems that were present during online learning, and I think the final result in this research should also be in the form of responses from the students, whether they prefer to continue learning online or not. And for the last part is the research methodology and methods. The research methodology that I will use for this research is a quantitative methodology where I will collect data using a questionnaire and also an interview. I will give a questionnaire to population from a class at SMA 111 to ask about their perception of online learning during a pandemic, and also ask for the data on their English scores while still studying face to face in school. Then I will conduct an interview to ask it more detail how their experience of doing online learning, especially in English subject. And of course also I ask if they are more comfortable learning English online or face to face. So that's all for my research plan. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.